In this video, we're going to copy this sheet with some schedules into a new project so you can see how that works. First thing I want to do is just kind of go over what this guy is. So basically, I have a project that has a title block that you can see all in red inserted into it, and then there are some schedules in here that have been placed. This tabulation and code analysis, it's basically a fillable form. If I double click on it, you can come in here and change this to 2021, whatever your stuff is, and you can figure all of this out. And it's just, you just go in and fill all this out manually. So it's a fillable form. Same thing for the civil, structural, mechanical, plumbing, and electrical sheet sets. If you need those, since they're coming from other places, oftentimes you might need to do that. Now, the architectural and the general are reading from whatever project you put it in. And then we have a couple of schedules, a room occupancy schedule and a building area calculation. Now, the building area calculation you may have to redo just because this is pulling off of an area plan here from a previous project, and it may not correspond with yours. The other thing is the title block. So if I pick the title block and edit this family, it has parameters and stuff in it similar to the ones that we did in class. So some are text and some are parameters. You can go in and sort of mess with this if you want to. The only thing that's kind of unique is this guy down here, this consultant box. And so if I click on, let me do that less fast, on my family types dialog box, I can come in and adjust the number of consultant boxes. If I go to 3 and hit apply, right, it'll do 3 of them. There were 4 originally. Apply, right. And then the total block distance. So if I control X that and just put 20 inches in, it'll adjust how those are spaced. So if you want to rearrange things, you can, but otherwise, you can just use what you want and get rid of it. But that's pretty much it, I think. And then if I go to close this guy, no, we go back to the project that I'm going to give you that has the whole thing in it in this G100 cover sheet. Basically, all you're going to do is copy this guy, so Control C, or copy to clipboard here, and then go to your new project or whatever project you want to put it in, and go to your sheets and right click and go to new sheet, and just make a 24 by 36. I have a 24 by 36 blank. You can load up the 24 by 36 from Revit that's kind of blank. And then I'll just click OK, and it's just going to make a blank sheet. And then I'm going to go to modify and paste, and I'll paste from clipboard, and I'll just pick the bottom left point and it'll place that guy in there, and it does bring all of the schedules and everything with you. So now I have 2 title blocks in here, so I'm going to tap my tab key, get that title block that I started out with, and just delete it. You can see that the room occupancy is starting to fill out. Let me pull this guy over here. The building area calculations, we'll pull it over here for just a second. Probably can just pull it over, make it a little smaller for right now. And you can see it's starting to go through and read all of the floors, the rooms from different floors, and give us the square footage. You'll have to put your factor in, right? So if I come in and double click on this guy, and it takes me to the schedule, you'll have to come in and, like, kitchen would be 200, right, for the factor. And if you do that, it'll start to do your occupant load, right? And then you can also come in and you should always just sort of double check the filtering, like, is it being filtered? It's being filtered by occupancy zone, which doesn't exist, so you can just say no. And then under sorting and grouping, we can put like a footer at the level and tell it to calculate totals and do the grand totals, right? And click OK, and now you're starting to get totals. You can also do the totals for the occupant load. So if we go to formatting and pick the occupant load, right, and let's go ahead and calculate totals, right? It'll start to calculate all those totals for you per floor. Potentially you can divide it up per usage or by building, or you might have to work that out depending on what your project is doing. But basically now you have this guy in your file, and you can start to sort of go through and use it and adjust it. Again, you might have to arrange things depending on how it's working.